we are looking left, right, and center in the internet for you, and I'm stumbling over articles about recommendations. How should you behave as a passenger? What is the problem with your luggage? That is maybe for next episode. Tips to be a proper frequent traveler. And now I found, I have to laugh about it already, but let us discuss it today. I was a flight attendant for 10 years. Here, the 10 of the biggest mistakes passengers make. Let us discuss those and give you my ideas about it. I'm looking forward for your comments on that either. So. My name is Lars. I'm here to bring you more bites, more points, more status. Today's episode is not really serious, but I think it was funny to give this as a show in between, to give you something to laugh, to think about, and maybe for your comment. And of course, like always, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, leave us a like and a comment. The cabin crew here told us 10 things we shouldn't do on a flight, in her opinion, that are the biggest mistakes. 10 years, 10 mistakes. Hey, it cannot get better, and that is an expert. Then she says, the floor is probably dirtier than it looks. You should never walk barefoot. Passengers who wandering up and down the plane aisle barefoot will never cease to amaze me. Some even enter the restroom without any socks or shoes. But if the plane hits turbulence when you're in a small restroom, it can cause a mess that you probably don't want to step into, especially not with bare feet. Yeah, honestly, I never came up with the idea to walk bare feet in the aircraft. For a couple of reasons. Number one, I think it's disgusting. The other problem is in the toilet that somebody pees left in the front or whatever. I don't want to step in this shit either. I do not touch even the knobs or so. I'm so happy that Dietz Aerospace, for example, that they have something which is touchless. And anyways, then she said that being rude to cabin crew members won't get you far. Sorry, but that is a platitude, because at the end of the day, if you are rude to anyone in the world, you won't get very far. So I don't think that it's really, it goes without saying. So that is already, if you, no, let us not discuss about it, because that is so normal, that is so standard. Don't think about it. The next time you get something in the front pocket of you, you shouldn't do it because it's dirtier than you think. Anyways, you see that there's a net, and there's sometimes the closed plastic thing, or kind of a wobbly textile. I don't put things in it because I don't want to forget them. It happened not the first time that I forgot things, no big things, luckily, but I don't use it. But she says, no, that is so funny. The next time you stow your sandwich in the seat pocket for easy access to the flight, don't. I mean, if I have put my sandwich in the front pocket, I think it was in a foil, so, or at least in the paper still. So, yeah, I wouldn't do it like that, because it's disgusting on one side. The other thing is, of course, you make it dirty. So again, something which should be normal. I don't know what your idea is. Did you stow something like a sandwich in the front in your seat, or laughable? That is why we have to discuss this topic. That you see, there's so much written nowadays in the papers, in the TV they show. We have even a German, we had a show, it was 8 minutes, and they talked about stuff like, is it true that you have to always keep up the window shades, and if you have, if the captain is running around the aircraft before takeoff, actually before departure, and or are the rows missing? Yes, 13 and 17, depending where you're coming from culturally, so sorry. And there are other rows which are missing depending on the country, so I don't know. I don't know what is news about it. Then she said that we shouldn't ignore the safety instructions even if we are frequent travelers, because regular flyers have probably listened to the flight attendants' ballet more than once. Of course, I sometimes even can say what is the next thing, and I can say what the words are they are going to say. But they say that cabin crew are just doing their job and trying to keep passengers safe. And she asks us to fasten the seatbelt when they tell us to do so. Yeah, of course, why shouldn't I do it? I mean, that is something which is important. Even when it comes to notebooks, put it away, put it up. Sometimes they are too big that you can have them in your area. Of course, why? Because if you break or something happens during takeoff, it will go into your face or in other people's face, and we don't want to avoid it. And I don't know, but she said that we have to concentrate during that time, and I use it as well to count how many rows are bringing me to the next exit, and then where is the next exit if this exit would be blocked. So that are just some ground rules, ground works. A next wonderful idea she's giving us: a bulkhead seat might have more legroom, but it also increases the odds of being near crying babies. Yes, that is true. The bulkhead seat is nice. The bulkhead seat is actually the seat which is in the front, where there's just a wall, no seat in front of you, and there are a couple of seats like that during in the cabin. So I personally like it, especially in the Airbus fleets or 737 fleets on one Charlie. That is the first row on the aisle. There sometimes if there is something in front, it's even not over the full width of the seat row, so that in C you have even space to put the feet in front of you. I'm 2 meters and 1 tall, or 6'7" if you are American, and so it's giving me more space, of course. And of course, it is the risk for having babies because the bassinets are put there. And as you maybe recall, if you're sitting in the last row of business class or first class, and there's the first row of business class, or then premium economy or economy, depending on the configuration, that's the bulkhead again. And then if you're in the last row, you have the baby as well. That is a courtesy tip from my side. That's not in this text. Then she goes on that we should pace ourselves with alcoholic drinks, as the effects in the aircrafts are a little bit quicker, and that is of course true because the air is dry. We learned that in the Sahara it's 25% humidity, in the aircraft only 20%, and of course that the oxygen levels are going down, and due to these two factors of the dehydration and the oxygen lack, we feel alcohol pretty faster. And I personally don't drink alcohol so much, especially not in the air, because I want to enjoy it. So for that reason, we should pace ourselves. Have you seen some frequent traveler or just one fellow traveler of yours who got some problems due to alcohol or other problems? Comment it. I'm happy to read about it. Then she advises us not to take medicine. I even do not advise to take medicine to get sleeping. The sleep medication has troubles. What happens if you put it in and you get sleepy and drowsy and the aircraft has an emergency? So it's not a good situation. And for that reason, I wouldn't do that either. And she says, especially if you're using it, please try it at home, that you know how you react to it, so that it's not giving you some drama, which we do not need all. And I have a friend who says, I drink red wine, put the pill in, and I fly 10, 12 hours sleeping like a baby in economy class. I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I think that is for the body too unhealthy. But comment function is welcome. For that reason, you should stick to the bottled water. It's a recommendation of the 10 cabin crew. How should we call it? I don't know. It's not a tip. I mean, just common sense. Huh? Anyways, you should recommend sticking to water bottles which are closed. Of course, when you take the tap water, it's from tanks, and depending on the airline and aircraft, it's sometimes not very optically appealing what is happening in the tank, and that is not healthy. I don't know if it's really a trouble. I don't drink it because I don't like it. Even if you boil it, tea and coffee, it's okay, because I don't see that the people are just getting problems. But it's just a psychological thing, so I would refrain from doing it. She says one big problem is as well to disregard other people's personal space as a surefire way to anger your fellow flyers. Yeah, that is true. I mean, of course, the space in the aircraft is very condensed, especially when you have a high density seating. And for that, we have even in the parliament in the US, as in the Senate, I think we have an initiative that there should be minimum seat pitches and everything. So that would be something which I think is interesting. But at the end of the day, of course, do other people's private space and not enter them. And I mean, if I would do this with my hand, I would be over one row, so I would have touched the head of somebody in 2 rows in front of me. So don't do it. And even if I recline my seat, I look in the back. If there's somebody seating, I do it rarely. And if there's somebody seating, give them the courtesy and give them a warning, because then they can put things away, like bottles or glasses, which are in the danger of dropping, or a notebook. Some notebooks should have been crashed. If you are hearing these rumors too, comment. The call button should be reserved for urgent matters, so don't press unless you have one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm the opinion, no, the call button is there to call them because you have a need. I mean, what is it for? Of course, you don't use the call button when they are on the service, when they are bringing food and when they are doing stuff. So then you shouldn't do it, in my opinion, of course, certainly not. But at the end of the day, it's not a call button which is there for emergencies only. It's even there for your convenience. And I understand that the crew says, hey, our training for emergencies is much more time than we get in service. And that is sometimes what is said, because you see it that you are not service orientated. That is a longer story. Maybe that is an episode for itself. That was already the 10th tip. And I gave you my insights, what I thought about the 10 tips from the 10-year cabin crew. And looking forward to your comments, looking forward that you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, and leave us please a like for the algorithm. Thank you for watching today's episode, a little bit different, but still we are all about more points, more miles, and more status. See you to the next episode of Frequent Traveler TV Takeoff. Thank you, bye.